Namaskar. I salute the divinity within you. Today I'm going to read a press release issued by the Central Public Relations Secretary of Ananda Marga Pracaraka Samgha, that's Acharya Tanmayananda Avaduta. And it's on a subject, a lot of people have been asking, what is Ananda Marga's role in fighting the coronavirus pandemic? So I would like to read his press release, and then you'll get an idea about what Ananda Marga is doing and what Ananda Marga recommends for other people to do in this time of crisis. So I'm going to begin. The biggest nightmare for people of the entire world at the present time is COVID19, the novel coronavirus, which has made the nights of the leaders of the world and of the public as well sleepless. At the same time, a crisis of food and money has come up in society, especially for poor people. Under such critical circumstances, we should not drown in despair or break down. We have to stand erect. Therefore, let us remember the saying of the spiritual master, Sri Sri Ananda Murtiji, and he said, "Obstacles are the helping forces that establish one in the goal." That is, an obstacle is a good sign, because if one faces opposition, then they get the courage to overcome the obstacles. And this courage takes the human race to its absolute goal. At the same time, we have to be confident, and in this regard, Lord Shiva mentioned 7,000 years ago, that when you have firm determination that I will be successful, that is, our confidence will help us to fight against this coronavirus. So the word virus is not new. It's not a new word to people. There are thousands of viruses or viri, I think that's what it is, moving in the environment of the universe. And human beings have fought with them in the past. They've been fighting in the present, and they will be fighting in the future also. As human beings won that battle in the past with the help of science and technology, similarly, they will win against this virus in the present time also. One thing has to be remembered in this regard. God Himself, at the time of creating human beings and other living beings, gave us the power to fight against the various diseases spread by virus or bacteria. This power is known as immunity. So we have found that those who have strong immune power are not easily affected by the coronavirus. And even if they are cured very soon. Therefore, to save the entire human race from the attack of the fatal coronavirus, we have been teaching some preventive measures to the public, such as yoga practices. And regarding these practices, which I'm going to talk about now, we have another video made by Dr. Stephen Landau or Acharya Pashupati, and he will show you how to do these practices. But now I'm going to run through them so you get an idea what they are. So the yoga practices are Bhujanga Asana, it is also known as the Cobra, and there's also a special kind of pranayama, and there's something called Vayavi Mudra, and the Dr. Pashupati will explain that. And then there's Sarvangasana, which is sometimes called the shoulder stand. So these practices are very helpful, so you can learn them from that companion video. And if one practices all these things daily, it will strengthen the immune system rapidly. So there are some other things, taking lemon water and some other different kind of practices of hygiene, so which they will all be explained in this companion video. Now, one more point which is very important. Sri Ananda Murti has turned all viruses which create fatal diseases in people's bodies and mind, they're called microvita. There's another word for it, it's something smaller than a virus even. Positive microvita can stop all the negative. And people can create positive microvita through satsanga, spiritual company, and bhajan, singing spiritual songs, and kirtana, chanting, and yoga practice. Therefore, it is our earnest request to everyone that under these circumstances, people should confine themselves in their houses and spend their time discussing spiritual subjects and practicing kirtan, meditation, and yoga, and you will get results. I want to add this, that we must abide by all the rules, regulations, and guidelines for the lockdown enacted by both central and state governments to prevent the spread of this fatal virus. Such systems have been designed for the welfare of all. So I request everyone from Ananda Marga, this is a request made from Ananda Marga to you, live and let live. That is, not only to avoid contracting the virus, but in case one may have contracted it, and many have contracted it yet without symptoms, avoid spreading it to others. And I want to add one more thing to the Acharya's press release, is that one doctor gave this advice. He said, you should act as if you believe you already have the virus. So that's, if we act like that, then we won't spread the virus to anybody. Another point that people have been asking about is that our Ananda Marga Universal Relief Teams, Amrit and Amritel, we're ready with volunteers and food and other necessary items to support people all over India, as well as 182 countries of the world. And some relief work has already been done in the Ananda Nagar area of West Bengal. So we are in touch with the local administrations at all times, and we will jump into action immediately once we get the green signal from them. So this is...
Hello there. Namaskar. In Sanskrit, my name is Pashupati. It means he who controls the base propensities. I'm the chief trainer and director for the Shiva Dancing School of Yoga, which is a manifestation of the Ananda Marga Yoga Society. I've been asked to demonstrate a few of the asanas and procedures which may be of some help for you in battling any illness due to the coronavirus. As we know, the virus has proved to be a disaster for the world. At the same time, it has brought to us, to our senses, that we are actually human beings and fostering a sense of unity among the world. And we also need to take care of the plants and the animals and not eat the animals, and so that we can have a good convivial relationship. These are the lessons we have. Now, among the practices that may be of some benefit for you, the first one is called Bhujangasana. It's the cobra pose. It stretches the back and it expands the lungs, and it utilizes the nasal breathing, which is good for everybody. So here's what it looks like. You can do it 8 times for 8 seconds. And here I will recommend that anyone who has spinal problems, or anyone who has high blood pressure or stroke or difficulty with glaucoma or retinal problems, it would be best to discuss this with your doctor, or if you like, you can contact me. Now, here's the Bhujangasana. You lie down on your belly. Is done. The toes are pointed. The palms are under the shoulders. And inhale and look up. And make sure you're doing it right. Shoulders are back. Looking up with the eyes open. And then exhale, come on back down. And again, we inhale, breathing through the nose, coming up, shoulders are back, looking way up at the sky, arching the back. And then exhale, come down, very graceful like a snake. So you would do that, practice 3 or 4 times, and then build it up to 8 times over time. The next asana that is listed is called Vayavi Mudra. And this one is also good for blood pressure. It's done standing up. So I will step back so you can see me properly. Given the camera, I will do this in a kneeling position, but it's actually done in a standing position. So you take your fingers and you place the third finger distal knuckle. I am a doctor, so I talk medical. This last knuckle right here, the inside of the knuckle, you place it on the nipples. And so standing up, You take a breath in and bring your shoulders back just like a chicken wing, breathing in through the nose, and focus your mind on your fourth chakra, on the heart chakra, the seat of compassion and the seat of air movement, the lungs. So breathing in, shoulders back, and think about that fourth chakra, and pressing the nipples, and then you exhale, relax the shoulders, bring them forward. So let's do that again. Let's do that one more time. So you'll feel the energy flowing through your body. Breathing in, again, the stomach and chest. Breathing in. And then the shoulders come forward and relax. So again, you can build that up in the initial few days, 3 times, and then you can gradually bring it up 4, 5, and 6 times, or up to 8. The next asana that they have asked me to do is the Sarvanga asana. This asana is dangerous for people who have had stroke or high blood pressure, and also for people who have bad necks. Although it's good for some people who have bad necks, so it's bad for people with disc problems. People with arthritis problems may be better. So you lie down on your back, and you curl your legs up to the forehead, like so, and then come all the way up. Keeping a straight spine. And then slowly roll down. And then relax for a bit. This is called Shavasana, this relaxation pose. And so you can do that Sarvangasana 3 times, anywhere from 30 seconds up to a few minutes, and let the mucus drain. Sometimes when I do it, I have to cough. So in the very first parts, it compresses the salivary glands and the parotid gland, and so it brings so much mucus into my throat, and I cough and swallow it, and then I can do the Sarvangasana. So again, the purpose here is to clean out the lungs and to clean out the sinuses and the salivary glands so that you don't accumulate mucus. You don't give a place for the virus to stay, because continual flow is the sign of health. When you have a swamp in your body, that's when you get sick. So you want to have continual flow. So part of that, the next thing is it's a good idea to take lemon water. Here's my lemon. I keep water with me at all times. And so again, part of the accepted philosophy of preventing viral problems is to keep it from accumulating in your throat. So as soon as you feel your throat to be a little bit dry, and that may be every 15 or 20 minutes, or like right now since I'm talking to you, you wash it down. And then the stomach acid will usually destroy the virus. They're talking about killing the virus. Actually, it's not alive by itself. Its living depends on you and me and the animals with which it was first infected. The warm water is better, partly because it places less stress on the body. And so you want to have minimal stress on your body of that nature. So we say don't look directly at the sun for a while, don't look directly at the moon for a while. You don't want to have shocks to your body. So using warm water, or even very warm water, but not really hot water. And that will inactivate the virus, and also it keeps your body at a nice even keel. So we recommend lemon as a very good digestive aid, and some salt, which helps make it more physiologic and builds up your system, because you normally have some salt in your bloodstream. Again, I should mention I am a medical doctor, so this is partly based on my experience and partly what has been recommended for me to do. The next principle is what's called nasapan, but I do like to do the nasapan. So you take some water. Now normally I use cold water or tap water, but Warm water in this case is better since we're talking about the virus prevention. You take the water and you just let it dribble back into your nose and let it get down to your throat and you spit it out. Or you can swallow it if you want to. You do that once, twice, or 3 times until the mucus is all gone. That's very helpful in preventing disease. It washes out the hairs and the mucus in the throat and in the nose. That way the virus does not accumulate. Whatever is there, you're always rinsing it out. So you decrease the burden that your body has to fight with its own immune system. The next principle is called dhauti. Dhauti means you take your middle finger or several fingers and you you touch the back of your throat and you stimulate a gag reflex, which you just heard me do. That brings the mucus up off of your thyroid and off of your larynx, your vocal cords, and it cleans up all the mucus. So you've really cleaned out, with all of these practices, you've really cleaned out your chest, your lungs, and your nasal passages. So that helps you protect you from getting accumulation of the virus into your system. And it's just something we do. I do this on a very regular basis anyway. So the nasapan, the nasal bath, and the dhauti. And you make sure you do these. All of these practices need to be done on an empty stomach. Don't do yoga on a full stomach. You'll vomit and it'll upset your system. So empty stomach is best. Now, the next principle is called vyapak shauch. So that means pervasive cleanliness. Shaucha means cleanliness in Sanskrit. Vyapak means all around. First, sitting in the bathroom, on the toilet, or someplace else, you take some water, and it's good to carry around a squirt bottle or some water, and pour it on the genitals to cool that. That cuts down on sexual desire and also helps with cleanliness in general. Then you take some of the water and onto your legs on both sides and cools it off, and then water to the forearms. Then you take some water. I don't necessarily use the same bottle. I'll use clean water here. And you take it in your mouth and you hold it and you splash your open eyes 12 times. This calms the body down. It stimulates the diving reflex, which slows the heart down. So do the eyes, splashing your open eyes 12 times, then some on the back of your neck and your ears. And you do this before taking meals. You can do it before you sleep, especially if it's hot weather, and especially before spiritual practices. It makes it much easier to do meditation and yoga postures in a very calm and happy way. The next principle that we have is taking sentient food, and by that we mean vegetarian diet. We don't recommend onions and garlic because they're not so good for the lower chakras, and there has been some thought that they may not be good for the immune system, even though garlic is antibiotic against the bacteria. So this is to be taken into consideration. And we don't want people smoking because that decreases your immune function, and it also cuts down the ability of the hairs, the little cilia that are in your sinuses and in your lungs and in your trachea and the windpipe. It cuts down these hairs, clear the mucus, and you want to be clearing the mucus all the time. That's how the virus manifests as disease, by causing a mucus accumulation. So doing all these practices should be helpful in helping prevent or take care of the virus if you should be fortunate or unfortunate enough to have it. Feel free to contact any Ananda Marga Acharya or myself as needed for further guidance. Take care. Namaskar.